Yeah, so this here is the library. At the height of Mystic Mania, offers were piling up, leaving a trail of disappointment. And the BBC took this especially badly, as you'll see from this letter, from the head of Variety Light Entertainment. It's addressed to the Cardinal Wizard, and he says, as you probably intended, your letter obviously leaves me somewhat mystified. Blah, blah, blah. And then goes on to say, the ideas for the content of a program that you seem to be interested in are extremely vague. Blah, blah, blah. Despite being dogged by this deep sense of regret that we were unable to accommodate everyone, we were fortunate enough to have with us, as Dylan and others had been with D.A. Pennebaker, Scorsese and, Rob Reiner, someone who was able to document every aspect of our life on the road.
I was one of the leading rock photographers of the 70s, even though I say so myself. You know, I loved the 70s. Rock bands rocked. They were playing their own instruments. There was no synthesizers. They were just. They took no prisoners. You know, I took photographs of all sorts, drummers mainly.
When we first met Jeff, he was a struggling apprentice, and he was looking to publish his first monograph. In fact, at the time, he was mostly taking photographs for catalogues such as the Betterware, people taking photographs of dustbins and mops and such.
I ended up at the end of the 70s putting a book together about the best rock drummers, what they looked like, their characters, etc. In fact, yeah, I don't know. I've got the book around somewhere if I can put my hand on it.
And so we were able to use our influence with this particular publisher to say, listen, this guy is fantastic. He really has an eye, and we'd like him to come on tour with us. And so he did.
Oh, there it is. What's that there? Jephf Wud's Rim Shots.
With a foreword by Robert Mapplethorpe.
Very visual as well.
Ah, here we go. This has been earmarked. That's interesting. So this is the centerpiece photograph, as you can see.
Carl Palmer, ELP, Bill Ward of the Sabbath, John Coughlin, The Quo, Jerry Shirley, Uriah Heep, and of course, the best of the lot, Keith Moon. Keith Moon and me in the studio.
Just
early summer 1978 it was. Summer before he died. We turned up there with, there was four of us, art director, account executive, client, myself. Keith Moon answered the door. It was a studio in Battersea where they rehearsed. And he answered the door and just said, which one's a photographer? They said me, and I said me, and he said, right, you come in, the rest of you go and wait in the cafe over the road. They were not best pleased, but we had to go down some stairs into Keith's studio. He was the only guy there. And on the way downstairs, he was holding a tumbler full of brandy. And he just handed me this and said, you'll be needing this. Poured himself another one. And he didn't say much. He just said, take whatever you like while I'm practicing. And it was quite an experience. It was very loud. The drums were amplified. And half an hour later I was drunk. But fortunately I was quite experienced in photographing while I was drunk, even though I was very young. And this was the photograph he liked the best. He said, I looked like I was going for it there. He liked, and everybody else liked, the timpani at the front with the track listing that they did on the Who's Next tour. The 2 tracks asterisked are Baba O'Reilly and Won't Get Fooled Again, which Who fans will know start with a synthesizer. This meant Keith had to put his headphones on because the other guys were relying on him to lead them into the tracks because they couldn't hear them properly on stage. And it lasted 2 hours and I was out of there. I wish, my only regret is that I knew at the time how significant a day this would be in my experience of life. But it was great.
So, what can you tell us?
About?
Sorry? The Mystic Wizards.
I've never heard of them.
Yes, well, there's a word missing from that particular sentence that you've failed to spot, which is the word wish. Yes, Geoff, this was a running joke with us. Geoff used to say, and still does, I wish I'd never heard of you.
I don't recall. I mean, I don't know every band I've ever photographed, but...
It's ironic, because if it wasn't for us... Well, here we are. He's written it in the dedication here. You can see... to Apoth, without whom I'd be nothing. So, there you go. That's from Geoff.
What did you say they were called again?
The Mystic Wizards.
Oh, Mystic Wizards.
Let's have a look here.
I mean, there are some bands in here that I don't actually remember photographing. Suede Bingo. Prog Spawn.
Yeah, here's a few more. See, this is... I'm not sure where we're playing here. We've actually found in our archives a couple of photographs of the drummer from the Mystic Wizards, and I wonder, it's quite possible that maybe you could identify them with... I think it might possibly be your...
Oh, what was the drummer's name?
Speed. But this would have been on the tour in America.
Was the guy lying in the road and a guy picking his nose? They're certainly not mine. I'm a bit insulted. You think they would be? I mean, they look like they were developed in washing up liquid or coffee or something. And they certainly are not mine, and I certainly don't recognise them. They're awful. Can't be of any more help there, I'm afraid.
Okay. Well, thank you. Yeah. Okay. Thanks for your time, Geoff. I think that's it, really. And I think, yes, you can see lurking in the background by this stack here, there's a little chap there. That's Baz Colonel, always looking on to make sure that everything was going fine. So can I just check with you? It's Jephf Wud with a J, isn't it?
No, it's Geoff with a G. It's Geoff, and Woods with an S on the end. Look, Simon Callow phoned me from New York once to actually check the spelling of my name for his photograph because it was going on the front page of the New York Times. He said this was one of the best photographs he'd ever had taken of him. He phoned to check the spelling of my name, something you clearly haven't done.
It doesn't even look anything like him.
Simon Callow, Shakespearean actor, national treasure. 4 Weddings and a Funeral. He was the funeral part of 4 Weddings and a Funeral.
It's Simon Callow.
Jeez.
it's nice to give back, you know, and set someone's career off. So that's for Geoff.
That is how you do it.